have what is known as an event, a course, in fact, called Azadi Next. And Azadi Next is a 3-month program in a series of programs that we offer, right? So some of the programs that we offer include Azadi Essential. Can everyone please go on mute? Right. Excellent. So there is something that we offer which is known as Azadi Essential. Azadi Essential is a free seminar which we offer to different groups of people in the corporates, in colleges and universities, even schools, madaris, masjids, street corners, different formats. We offer a financial literacy program to all who is interested, and we go to the location and we give this program. Of course, due to the pandemic, now we offer for quite some time, we've been offering online only, but that's a very powerful program where we talk about why is investment required, why is it mandatory now, right, to invest in different kind of opportunities, including equities, mutual funds, etc. And the whole idea of investment and beating inflation and so on. So whenever that happens next, inshallah, we'll keep you all posted. Please do attend this session, which is more like an investment awareness program. And why should you invest? That's the question that we address. And this basically offers you the pathway to your financial freedom. Then we offer another very powerful program called the Azadi Intensive, which is about how do you design your life based on purpose, vision, and goals. So within that program, which is depending, it could either be a 1-day long program or a 2-day program, right? Depending on the kind of audience, right? If we have people who are from the corporate world who are used to these kind of vision statements, and so on, it can be done in a day. But if we have more people who are not from that background and who would like to really transform their lives, then this is a 2-day program. So it depends how you need it. But this is a program where in a day or two, depending how you take it, you basically form a purpose statement for your life, a vision statement for your life. You identify goals based on your purpose and vision, and then you see, look at ways and means on how do you go about achieving those goals. So there is a request for transcription. I am not sure what is this. But we'll share this progress. So this will be going live. Eventually, we'll be putting this video on YouTube, right? So inshallah, you can watch this again, right? So that's Azadi Intensive, which is another very powerful program. It doesn't happen very often because we are essentially in the world of investments and finance, right? This is a different subject, but we do delve into that because our investment and finance, when it is goal-based, it brings about a lot of clarity. Our financial activities, our financial objectives, when they are absolutely clear, it brings about a lot of clarity in our investment, the way we invest in itself. So that's a very important program. It does not happen very often, but whenever it does happen, please jump into it and kind of attend that program. And then we have a three-month program called Azadi Next. How do you become a professional investor? Now that's where we talk business, right? How do you trade? How do you invest? And how do you make money by trading in the equity markets, etc.? That's the 3-month-long program that we offer. And then we have something called Azadi Associate, which is a partnership, wherein a program after which you become a partner with Idafa Investments. You take this idea and concept in your region, in your community, in your locality, right? And you generate an additional stream of income for yourself. So that's the whole, Idafa Investments and Azadi School for Financial Freedom. We've come together and we are offering these programs. And Alhamdulillah, as a part of that program, there are a lot of people who have done Azadi Next, who are already over here, who are participating. And Azadi Next has one module wherein we do what is known as financial planning services, right? So what is this financial planning services that we offer? So these are services in India. The Securities and Exchange Board of India have started issuing a license called the Registered Investment Advisor. Some of my elders, there is one person called Mr. M.S. Shabbir from Hyderabad. He was the first ever registered investment advisor in India, right? So registered investment advisors or certified financial planners, what they offer is a very comprehensive service in financial planning, right? They charge a fee for that, nothing less than 25,000 rupees. And then based on your circumstances, they would formulate a plan for you, and year after year you are kind of continuously in touch with them, and they would work out a plan on the basis of which you are committed to certain investments and a certain way in which you wish to retire. So that's financial planning services, which covers some very basic things like how do you create a provision for your 6 months expenses. So even if you lose your job, you're out of work, the business closes down, there is a COVID lockdown and whatnot, how are you ready to take care of the next 6 months expensive? That is what is planned with them. What is also planned is all kind of emergencies, right? So your health insurance, when we talk at Idafa Investments, we talk things from a very Sharia based perspective, right? So we look at options which are Sharia compliant. So we don't talk about life insurance, because life insurance, the way it is practiced, it's not compliant. So we, at least we haven't got the kind of clarity on that. We have clarity on health insurance. So with certain conditions, health insurance can be opted for. Other emergency fund that needs to be created, right? Then we look at the debt situation. So as financial planners, I am not a financial planner. I'm not a certified financial planner. I'm a research analyst, right? But as financial planners, the debt situation, how do you want to consolidate your debt? What do you want to do with that? How do you want to repay your debt ASAP? These are the things that I'll look into. We are also now interested in, and I'm personally as a research analyst, this is my area, long-term, short-term investments. Do you invest in mutual funds? Do you invest in unit-linked insurance plan? Do you invest in equities? Do you invest for tax saving? Do you invest for retirement? What is your investment plan, right? So different opportunities. Sharia compliant, how do you go about with that investment? That is my area of concern. So this one thing that we are having in front of us, that's what Idafa Investments is essentially looking at, right? And then we have things like tax planning, retirement planning, estate planning, right? So, and succession planning. So what happens to your wealth after you are dead and gone? That's the purview of financial planning overall, right? So all of this is a part of the financial planning process. And just to give you some clarity, if we look at it in the form of a pyramid, then at the bottom of the pyramid, the most important things at the bottom of the pyramid that we need to address in the process of financial planning are these things. Things like your emergency expenses, your health insurance, your debt repayment, all of those things are of primary importance. Then at the next level, we have what is known as the basic requirements of long-term, short-term investments, tax planning, and so on, retirement planning, etc. So all of these things need to be taken care of. Even for that matter, your wills, estate planning, etc. If that needs to be done, all of that comes under the second most important bracket. And then at the top of the pyramid, you have you can do things like adventurous things, so you want to try out a new form of investment. So suddenly if you find that cryptocurrencies are now halal, so like 100 years, 100 to 150 years back, suddenly we found that paper currency was given granted permission to be like legal tender. It's halal now, right? So now you could start using paper currencies. Similarly, a few years or a few months maybe down the line, if cryptocurrencies become halal for us, can we start dealing in cryptocurrencies? So this is the area where you just now get into these adventurous modes of investment, trading activities, cryptocurrencies, or there is a new, your friend comes with a new proposal that I'm starting this business which is about exotic coffees from Mexico, whatnot, right? So do you want to get into something like that, right? My son, he's setting up a business, right? Now, as far as I am concerned, when I'm putting money in that, that is an area which comes over here. So he's setting up a business where he's giving training in archery, right? So he wants everyone to become like that, the earth grow, right? So there's archery going on and so on. So so that's, all of these are adventurous things. This is not the normal, the basic, the normal, it all comes over here. And the adventure is where those kind of investments, etc. So if someone has a compelling reason to invest in a scheme like which is not willing to give you any balance sheet, any profit and loss account, they are have a multi-level marketing kind of a thing, and so on, and you have got the fatwa from your scholar that you can go ahead and invest in such a scheme, then whatever remains out of finishing this and this can only be invested in such kind of adventurous projects, right? So that's what financial planning is all about. It puts your funds in its right place. It prioritizes your investments, and then you get a kind of a go ahead on whether can you take on such investments or not, right? So this is the entire process of financial planning. As I discussed, at Idafa Investments, this is our concern. The rest of the thing, we can help you with that, right? If it comes to tax planning, there are some basic opportunities that's available. We can offer it to you. We have the capacity to offer you retirement planning, all of this in a Sharia compliant way. But estate planning, wills and succession, we have tie-ups with people, with lawyers, with chartered accountants, and they will help you out with these activities. When it comes to the comprehensive financial plan, etc., if you want to go for that, we will connect you to the right kind of people. They will in turn let you know which lawyer to contact for estate planning, which lawyer to contact for your succession plan, which lawyer to be in touch with to create your will, and so on. So that's the whole scenario of financial planning that we basically offer, right? So that's the service. And now within this, what we have promised the participants of Azadi Next is that we offer a basic service when it comes to investment management, investment planning, right? And your whatever planning happens on the basis of your goal. So what is this goal-based investment? That's the whole question. Why goal-based investment? Why is it important? So just imagine for a while, just imagine that you are, mashallah, we have 101 participants. That's a great uh, achievement, mashallah. So not very often that we have more than 100 participants. And I was apprehensive about this, but my team said that, you know what, you need to go for a 500 plan because we are expecting a lot of people, right? So that's how we did go for that 500 participant plan, and we have hit 101. So it was worth it, right? So Alhamdulillah. Now, as a part of Azadi Next, what we promised is that we will give you a first session of the service that we offer in terms of investment planning, etc. The first session, so there is a 4 session program per annum we charge, not like the actual financial planners, etc., who charge 25,000-30,000 to begin with. We charge a basic 7,500 rupees because our area is really focused only on investment planning. But if you do the program that we offer, Azadi Next, the first session, it comes completely free of cost. We devise the plan for you, and then you can take it and run, right? So as a part of that, a lot of people who have attended Azadi Next, they are here, and inshallah, we will be discussing that first session, what gets covered over there, what are the questions that we are going to ask, etc. All of that. So in a while, I'll come to that. I'll share one Excel sheet with you. We'll go through that sheet in detail so that we come to know what is it that we are actually going to do with that particular sheet. If you have any questions, any queries, you are most welcome to ask the questions in the chat box, right? And we'll respond to that. There are already a few questions, one question on options trading and so on. So we'll respond to the questions towards the end, Amir bhai, right? And at the moment, I'll quickly take you through this particular presentation, inshallah ta'ala, right? So all right. So what is the process of financial planning? The process involves gathering your information, right? So we would like to know, for example, how much, what's your age, right? How many children, etc. Are your parents dependent on you? Do you have other family members like siblings who are dependent on you? We need all of that information, right? We need information about your children's ages so that there is planning with respect to their education, their marriages, etc., that we can factor in. We will ask you about your goals. Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to start your own business? How soon do you want to retire? How far away from today is your retirement age, etc.? So we'll get all of that information from you. And based on that information, we'll look at your incomes, right? Your expenses. How much can you save on a monthly basis? The savings, how does that saving help you fulfill the goals that you have set for yourselves 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, children's marriage, maybe 15 years down the line, and so on, right? So we get all of that information from you. We get your goals and objectives. We analyze the financial situation, your income, expenses, etc. We then develop a financial plan for you. And based on that, now comes our role of creating an investment plan. Mutual funds, equity shares, trading, investing, what do you need? So that planning, and then overall we keep monitoring and reviewing your plan and then work on the basis of that. So this is the process that needs to be followed, and I would like to take you through the questionnaire wherein we the questions that we ask, and on the basis of that I will just explain why these particular details are important, right? So quickly, we will just go through the questionnaire. Give me a minute. All right. All right. So, all right. So some of you have already filled in this questionnaire, right? And there are some others who are yet to do that. So a lot of you brothers, sisters, you have already requested for an appointment with me or my team members, etc. And so basically, this is the questionnaire. We take your details, your profession, which company are you working in, and mobile number, email address, retirement age, life expectancy. So we actually ask you, when do you want to retire? Standard answer, 60. People working in the Middle East, normally they have time up to 65, right? There are some more people, mashallah, who would like to go on until 70. Whatever the plan is, we take your retirement age. We ask you, how much do you plan to live? Now, people, they get a bit upset when we ask these kind of questions. How much do you plan to live? What is your life expectancy? How would you know what is your life expectancy? Anyone? Would you like to share? Life expectancy?
70 years.
70 years, Mufti Basit says 70. Yeah. Can you give an expiry date to yourself? 70 years, 80 years, 90 years?
No.
No, right? So how do we set a date? How do I determine that I want to live up to 95? Can I do that? Right?
Brother, taking an average of our parents' age, basically.
Parents, okay, average of your parents. So what you need to look at is your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents. Normally, how long did they live, right? Your fathers and your mother's siblings. So your uncle, your aunts, etc. What was their lifespan all about, right? So Dr. Shahnawaz says 63 was the average life, is the average life of our ummah. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, so all of them, they passed away at 63. And so that is one way. So a lot of people would like to die at 6. Please don't commit suicide at 63, but have this expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that 63 is, by the way, 10th of September is Suicide Prevention Day, right? And September, the month itself, is celebrated, or rather, celebrated is not the right word, but there are a lot of conversations and discussions around suicide. Suicide is something that is becoming very common. So we are organizing an event on the 10th where there are conversations going to be happening with families of people who have committed suicide and families of people who have attempted suicide, right? And so what are they going through, and how are the suicide survivors kind of now dealing with their mental health situation, right? So that is coming up. If any one of you are interested, do get in touch with us. We'll share the details on the group. But if you know someone who is in that category, committed suicide or survived a suicide attempt, please get them to attend this program. This is organized by Family First Guidance Center, which is a project which is in sync with the Jama Masjid of Mumbai, right? And please connect people who are interested, and they would definitely benefit a lot from this, right? So there is a Sister Nigar who wants to hit 110. Great idea, right? And Sheikh Waleed, 100, not a problem. According to some research, and doctors over here can confirm that so at the time of independence, 1947, the average life expectancy of Indians was 45 years, right? Now, India average life expectancy is around 73 years. So in 75 years, we have the life expectancy has gone up from 45 years to 73 years. And it is expected, and global average, by the way, is life expectancy globally average is 88 years, right? And it is expected that by 2050, a lot of research is suggesting, because of technology, because of better healthcare facilities, etc., the life expectancy by 2050 is expected to go up to 120. So if someone is planning to retire at 60, please remember that after 60, it is quite possible. The youngsters over here in their 20s, etc., after 60, there is another life that you have to live without a standard income. So you have a job until you are 60, but post-retirement, you would have to plan to live up to 60, another 60 years, up to 120. So how do you sustain yourself for yet another lifetime, 60 plus 60, without a standard income? So that's the challenge. And that's why retirement planning is really, really important, right? So you like it or not, but you're going to live long because of the healthcare facilities and so on, right? So now you need to be geared up to take care of your life, your family, etc., because you and your wife or you and your husband will be living longer. How do you invest in such a way that post-retirement you keep getting the kind of income that you are used to while you are working, right? So these are the considerations that we have to take while we are looking at our financial planning. So we also asked, sorry, is there a question? All right. So we also ask questions like your parents' details, your children's details, right? So name, current state, are they living, have they passed away, their health history, are they financially dependent on you, their date of birth, current age, all of that. So if there is a sibling who is dependent to you, if there is an uncle or an aunt or a cousin who is dependent on you, all of their details, right? Your children's details, right? So if you need, you can keep adding columns over here, mashallah. So, but your child 1, child 2, you can put their names over here, etc. Their status, health history, financially dependent, all of that. And then we are interested in their goals, right? So graduation. So when they start graduation, like what we are asking for is number of years remaining for their graduations to begin. So if you're planning for your child to become a doctor, right? Your financial obligations come into play when they finish their 12th and begin their medical career, right? So at the time when they are finishing their 12, how many years is that event away from? So if your child is 5 years old, you have 12 years by the time the child finishes his class 12 exams. So here you would go ahead and write 12 years, right? Post-graduation, so once he or she finishes the graduation, so you have now 16 years over here. Not, so for a 5-year-old child, it's 16 years by the time he or she finishes the graduation and enters pro. So we are not interested in the year when the graduation is over, but the year where the graduation begins, right? So that way we get accurate information and we plan things out according to that. How many years until he or she gets married? So you say 20 years for a 5-year-old child, 20 years for marriage at the age of 25. So we plan according to that. Now, the next question that we ask is current value of the goal. So if a medical exam, a medical degree today is going to cost something like 80 lakh rupees, that's the amount that comes over here. Post-graduation might cost 1 crore, so that's what you put over here, right? A marriage, standard marriage, if not done with a lot of extravagance, conveniently in 5 lakhs can be done. Maybe you want to do it in 15 lakh, whatever is the amount that you have in mind, considering meher and all of that, right? So people in certain northern parts of India, people in some southern parts of India do have what is known as the quote unquote gift that they have to give to their daughter, right? Gift for the daughter, right? So that's another consideration. If that is the culture that you are forced to follow, then please go ahead and plan for that, right? So all of that needs to be factored in, right? So dowry and all of that, that needs to be factored in depending where you are. Of course, it's easy. Marriages are very easy, but you need to factor for all of these. So number of kids. If there are more kids, you can keep adding rows over here. So you can just add a few more rows and then we'll take it up from there. What other financial goals do you have? So in your case, if you are aiming for higher education, right? So do you want to do an MBA now, after 5 years of your graduation? Do you want to do your MBA? Do you want to go for Hajj or Umrah? How many years to go for that, right? So forget about Hajj at least for another couple of years, right? There would be a lot of restriction. So maybe after 3 years, so I have 3 years to go for that. Current value, at least 4 lakh rupees per person. If you're planning to go with your wife, then you say 8 lakhs. Put it in figures, please, right? So 8 lakhs, if you are yet to get married, you have say 2 years for that and you need 5 lakhs. So you can just put all of those details over here and so on, right? Childbirth expenses, you want to buy a house maybe 7 years down the line, you need 1 crore. So just put those details, etc. Home renovation, you want to buy a holiday home, you want a corpus to start up. So you are fed up of whatever job you are doing. Now you want to live with your family, full-time basis, etc. You need 1 crore rupees to start a business in your hometown in India, right? Or you have a great idea and you want to get cracking on that idea in the next 3 years time. So you say 3 years and you need say 25 lakhs. Put that detail over here, and then you also write the important. Is it important? There is a difference between urgent and important, right? So if it is important, you put it as a high importance thing. If it's urgent, then that's a dangerous area. For things to be urgent is actually very unfortunate. So there is a certain urgency, like your daughter is going to be married in 2 years time, right? So somewhere over here, 2 years, your daughter is going to be married and the marriage would require 10 lakh rupees and you don't have any idea where are you going to get that 10-12 lakh rupees from. Now that's an urgent thing. Next 2 years, you need to raise that 10 lakh rupees, 12 lakh rupees. How are you going to do that, right? Now that's a desperate situation and it would require desperate measures, right? So if it's urgent, that's a trouble area, but that needs to be addressed and we can work with you in taking care of that without going for a loan, without going for some kind of financial assistance. How do you use your own wealth to create to overcome that urgency? So that's the danger area over here. I think I should have put this in red. Important. So there are important things. Your higher education, buying a house, marriage, Hajj, all that is important. But how important? Is it a low priority area for now? Is it high priority? For example, buying a car, is that a low priority or a high importance thing for you? But if you feel that, no, I have a family and I need to take care of their transportation, etc., I need a car. I cannot use a bike anymore. That becomes a high importance area, right? So be it. You need 5 lakh rupees to buy that car in the next 2 years. Go for it. We will work with you. You want to perform Hajj in the next 3 years with your wife and your parents, go for it. We will work with you. In fact, we have created a portal called hajchallenge.com. Due to the pandemic, of course, that it's kind of lost its relevance, but it's still alive. It's a project very close to our heart where we say We will not charge fees for the planning for your Hajj, right? You just go on that website, hajchallenge.com, put your details, and we will do the calculation for you and plan for Hajj. We will become your partners in planning for Hajj, Umrah, etc. in the years that you want to do it, and inshallah. But that would be like, so for this, if there is a fee involved, there is no fee involved. We want to work completely free of cost for a noble goal like Hajj, Umrah, etc. Right? So this is the goals that we are interested in. Why are goals important? Just imagine you are, you've taken the ticket, bought the ticket for your flight to a particular place, say Mumbai to Delhi, right? You are ready for takeoff, sitting excited. After a long time, you're getting to fly because of the COVID. I haven't flown for, what is it now? The last I had flown was, I think, March 2020. And ever since, I have not seen the inside of an aircraft, right? So excited to fly again after such a long time, right? And suddenly the pilot comes on. He says, you know what, we are about to take off. I am not sure where are you going, which tickets you have bought, but at least I am not given, I'm not aware of any destination. I'm just taking off without a destination. We'll fly as long as we can fly, and then you can start praying. How would that announcement make you feel? You are taking off without a goal. What is going to be the outcome? Anyone? Please type in the chat box. What is the outcome? You're taking off without a destination. What is the outcome? Quickly, crash. Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, absolutely clear. Disaster, fear, havoc, right? So that is the outcome, end of life, right? Right. So that is, so without a goal, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a destination, you cannot reach anywhere, right? Something as simple as taking an Uber or an Ola, right? The first thing that you want to know, even before you book, is a destination. And then once your destination is done, the Google map will show you different opportunities, different options. Do you want to reach faster? Do you want to reach with a smaller route? All of those options are available, but you need a destination to be able to reach there, right? So you choose to go faster with the longer route using the freeway, perfectly fine, not a problem, right? You are that kind of a person. If you are someone who says, I want to take my time, but I want to save on more mileage, right? You don't want to spend more money on fuel, etc. You'll take the slower route, but the shorter route. You go for it, perfectly fine. Similarly, in investments, we have those options for you. If you want to reach somewhere very quickly, we'll give you appropriate options. Equity markets, investment and trading, that's the way for you. If you say, I'm okay, I can take a lot of time to reach where I need to reach, not a problem, I'm not in a hurry, we'll give you the option low risk mutual funds, right? So that's the way we plan things out. But you need the goal, the destination, to be able to plan all of these things. That's the whole exercise all about. Now, a lot of times people are a bit apprehensive of giving information. That, is my information safe? What would happen if someone gets access to all of this and then they report this to the income tax, right? So don't worry about all of that, right? So if you feel that you're not comfortable giving the information, don't worry, don't fill in this form. Keep it for yourself, use it for yourself, or fill the form, keep it with yourself, don't share it with us. But at least when you go through this process, you would know exactly where you are standing, what are your, there was this person in one of those live seminars that we used to have, right? So earlier on, or a lot of you who have received this form, earlier on, we had the information this way, right? So it was asking husband, wife. So the whole idea was, if you are the husband, give your detail and your wife's details. If you are the wife, give your details and your husband's details. So there was this gentleman who says, sir, I know that person. He was going through a divorce. So he stands up and he says, you know what? I don't have a husband and I don't have a wife as well, which I knew, right? So what do I do over here? मेरे पास ना husband है ना wife है, मैं यहाँ क्या लिखूं? So I got the joke, and now we've changed that to your details and your spouse details, right? So to make things absolutely clear. So a lot of people are not willing to give the spouse details. You know what? My wife details, I don't want to give all of that. So if you have a problem with that, don't worry. Give whatever details you feel is important, and then keep updating that, and so that we can work out those things. These things are actually very important in the financial planning exercise, because when it comes to estate planning, when it comes to your who gets your money after you are dead, right? So for all of those things, nominations are really important. If you miss out on the nomination aspect, your wealth gets really, I mean, 20, 30% gets completely wasted in terms of taxes and so on. So it's really important that you nominate someone. You can nominate percentage wise, right? So if you have sons, if you have daughters, if you have parents, and you want to nominate according to the inheritance rules of Sharia, you can actually do that. That today, if something happens to me, my wealth ought to be distributed in this way, right? All of that can be done. So for those details, we are that kind of activity, we are asking the details of all of these things, right? So that your goal, etc. We then look at the incomes, business income, salary income, all of that, expenses, right? So you put your expenses over here. We'll be sharing this form with you after the program. So all of you who are interested, you can use it for your own reference. If you want, you can get in touch with us for an appointment, and we'll share details with you. But basically, all of these details, expenses, monthly, annual, percentage of income. So we'll give you sheets where all of this is automatically calculated. We are going to give that to you afresh. So how are you spending on a monthly basis, on an annual basis, on all of these things? What are the assets that you already have, your investment, its cost, its market value, all of that stuff, and your liabilities. And based on this basic information, then we develop a financial plan for you, right? So we'll be sharing this file with all of you. Keep it handy. Make that a basic source for your calculations going forward. It's a beautiful exercise. Even if it is something that you do on your own, it's a beautiful exercise. So please go through that, and you will get a lot of clarity in terms of where do you stand today, right? Any questions? Any questions?
Can you share this form again?
All right. 1 minute.
Hello, sir.
I mean, share
Yes.
it on WhatsApp or so that we can fill.
Yeah. We'll be sharing with you in the different groups that you are. All of you, or we will email it to you. So, but we'll be sharing this with you, right?
Hello, sir.
After this program, I'll share it with you. Yes.
Hello.
Question?
Yeah, my name is Ashik and I'm in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
I would like to know, Assalamu alaikum, by the way.
Salam.
I just want to have a one-to-one session with you. Is it possible?
Yeah, that is possible. So I'm just coming to that in a while. Inshallah, I'll give you those details as well, right? We will be sharing on WhatsApp or whichever. I think Telegram is what we are using now. As a policy, we have planned to shift from WhatsApp to Telegram for several reasons. So I'm not sure what is the admin using, but on the group that you are, I think Telegram group, we will share all the details, the appointment details, the financial planning cue sheet, and all of that, inshallah, right?
Sir, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, Ismail bhai.
All the goals are achieved through equity stocks, or it's a combination of
It's a combination. It's a combination, right? It's a combination depending on the importance. So if you say that this is a high priority, you don't have much time, etc., then we would suggest a pure equity and trading. If you know the 1 crore formula, that's what we're talking about. And then if there is time available, we'd say equity mutual funds. If you still have longer term goals, no hurry, etc. Or if you have goals which are related to post-retirement incomes, etc., then we also have certain solutions like Rehber and so on, which is a kind of alternative to debt funds that's available in the market. So obviously, due to constraints with interest-bearing investments, we do not suggest that, but we do have an alternative in the form of Rehber Financial Consultants, which is the replacement of debt with leasing and rent-based income, right? So we give all the solutions depending. So if you are someone who's 60 years old and now you're looking at post-retirement incomes, etc., you have a huge corpus or a corpus which needs to be utilized to generate income post-retirement. You cannot risk this corpus at all because this is what you have to take care of your post-retirement lifestyle, right? So there we'll go for a different plan from someone who is a 20, 30-year-old who can take a lot of risk. So the plans that we offer would be the investment activities that we do is completely different for a 60-year-old gentleman to a young fellow who is 20 and 30-year-old, right? Inshallah. All right. So furthermore, let's proceed. We'll take the questions as we complete this. Let's proceed with this. So when we do the financial planning activities, most of you would have gone through this power of compounding scenario, wherein, say, if you are investing 10,000 rupees per month, right? And if it's that investment is getting a return of 15%. 15% looks like a joke these days because a mutual fund, a Sharia compliant mutual fund like Tata Ethical Fund, at the moment is giving like 35% returns, right? But because these are different times, right? So somehow all the mutual funds are giving extraordinary returns. Equity investments directly are giving 100% plus returns these days when you are trading and doing those kind of activities. But when we do our calculations, we don't look at times like these where suddenly people don't have any businesses, people are probably losing their jobs, etc. And whatever savings they have, they would bring it all to the mutual funds, to the equity investments, and generate high return. As a result of that, it generates high returns. These are again desperate times, desperate measures kind of situation. But generally speaking, mutual funds, they give returns in the region of 18%. We say lesser than that, what are we going to talk about? And we say 15%. Let's talk about 15% only, lesser than the average returns given by mutual funds. Even by those standards, we are making on an investment of 10,000 rupees per month, 1,20,000 rupees per annum, you're making 18,000 rupees per month. Additional investment year 2, all of that put together comes up to 2,58,000. So 1,20,000, 18,000 return on that, right? Plus additional 1,20,000 rupees next year, 2,58,000 reinvested. You get 15% on 258 is 38,700 plus 1,20,000 goes up to 416. Reinvested returns additional 599. Reinvested returns additional, and you are at 8,09,000. You have invested 6 lakh rupees, but you are at 8,09,000 rupees in year 5. How? You are just putting 10,000 rupees per month, month after month, for the next few years. Come 10 years, you're continuing with that activity, your fund rises to 24,36,000 rupees. Just your return, keep an eye on the return column. Just your return in the 10th year is 3 lakh rupees, right? 15 years, just the return is 7,29,000 rupees, and you have reached 57 lakhs. And in 19th year, the returns is 13,65,000 rupees, and you have hit 1 crore rupees, 20 years, 1 crore 22 lakh 93,000. Just your return is 15 lakh 18,000 rupees. So this is how the power of compounding. This is how 15% returns year after year, average over a period of time. Now we are not talking about the 30% return that we got last year or 3-4 months back. The annual return was working out to about 63-64% in Tata Ethical Fund, and much more in the other forms of investment, right? So we are not even talking about those things. Year 2010, when the world came out of the 2008 financial crisis, we were talking about a return of 110% in Tata Ethical Fund, in Taurus Ethical Fund, and so on, right? So we are not talking about those kind of returns. We are talking about 15% return, less than the average, and this is what you achieve. 19 years time, you are a crorepati, right? So that's the power of compounding. If you plan your things, if you're planning for Hajj in the next 5 years, 2 people, right? Your goal is 4 lakh rupees. You stay on the plan, and you would be more or less ready to perform Hajj in 4 to 5 years time. Sorry, 5 years time, right? So 2 people, 5 years, 10,000 rupees per month, you are ready for Hajj. If you want to buy the house, which is costing 1 crore rupees, right? And you want to reach there fast, how fast can that be? So maybe instead of 10,000 rupees, you might want to invest 30,000 rupees and reach there in, say, 12 years time, right? So that 1 crore rupees apartment, 12 years time, more or less, you reach there. So that's how we work around, and we kind of try to fulfill your goals. Of course, we factor in the inflation. So because of inflation, in 12 years time, right, that 1 crore rupees is going to become something like 3.5 crore rupees. So you need to do that planning and work things out accordingly, right? So all of that, net, if you have a plan, if you have a goal, we have a plan, we work with you and help you achieve that goal. But if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You're planning that you're not achieving their goal. But if you have at least put a plan in place, you know the pathway on how to reach there, and now you can take action. So please do that first. Have a plan in place. The resources, if you can think about it, you can do something about it. But if you can't even think it, there is no idea, there is no chance of achieving that goal. So we want you to start thinking at least. If you can think it, you can do it. So start thinking, start formulating some plan, start having your goals in mind, and we can help you achieve those goals. So it might look like impossible. How can I achieve the goal of starting a business worth 1 crore rupees in the next 10 years? How can I do that? You have no clue about it. But if you start discussing that with us, we have, and I'm going to introduce something to you right now, which will show you a clear pathway of how can you achieve those kind of goals when you have a pathway, a plan, a goal, a plan, and a pathway in place. So these are the services that Idafa Investment offers: equity investment, mutual fund, retirement planning, wealth creation, monthly incomes. So post-retirement monthly incomes, or generally monthly income. You have some cash and you want now some monthly income for yourself or your family, etc. Additional, that can be taken care of. Tax planning. These are the kind of services that we offer. We work with Tata Ethical Fund. Tata Mutual Fund has come out with this Sharia compliant fund called Tata Ethical Fund. So you can use this. Taurus Mutual Fund has come out with a Taurus Ethical Fund, which is also a very good fund, good performance, right? We can share these details with you, the performance, etc., if you're interested. And then I spoke to you about Azadi and these courses. There is one course particularly that's coming up soon, which I want to talk to you about. So if you have a plan, if you have a goal, we have a plan for you. And one of the adventurous plans. So if you have an adventurous goal, if you want to achieve something very quickly, I want 1 crore rupees in the next 5 to 6 years. Why? Because I cannot be in this kind of a job anymore. I want to be with my family rather than sitting in Dubai or Kuwait or Qatar without them. I don't want to do this. You want to be free in the next 5 to 7 years. We have a plan. How do you make 1 crore rupees from investment in shares, the Sharia way? We have this course for you wherein we talk about the basics of investing. We bust stock market myths. We talk about fundamental analysis and technical analysis. We talk about some powerful tools to start with the 1 crore formula. How do you make that first 1 crore rupees? Remember, the first 1 crore rupees is probably difficult, but the following ones come so fast that probably it might become difficult for you to handle that flow, right? So this is what we learn. The program, this is advertisement times now. So program is on 21, 22, 20, 24 September, Tuesday to Friday, 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. India time, right? So 6:30 Makkah time, 9 p.m. India time, 4 days. And we talk about how can you get on the journey of creating 1 crore rupees in the next 5 to 7 years in a Sharia compliant manner. Original cost of this course is 3,000 rupees, but today, if you register, you will be able to do that for 500 rupees. We will share the registration details with you on Telegram group, etc. So please go ahead and register yourself, right, for the program. And inshallah, whenever we do this, we will you can do this for 500 rupees straight away, and go for it. I think if your plan is to create wealth, then this is a nice program which gives you the basics of investing, right? And how do you go about with looking at fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and formulate a plan to start investing. So where do we go from here? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step. What is the first step that you can take? Set up an account with us, start investing. Pay for this course that we are offering, do the course, and then get the knowledge, and then start investing, right? Get in touch with us. We will help you formulate a plan, but start investing. People who have already done Azadi Next, get an appointment. If you've already put request for an appointment, then I would request you to look at this form again. Look at the form that you have. Look at it again. We'll be sharing this with you in a slightly different format. So fill in the details as I have mentioned it to you, complete details. So if some of you have just filled up the first sheet and sent it, okay, this is my name, my family details. Now give me a plan. So it doesn't work that way. We need your goals in detail. How much is each goal going to cost today? What will be the cost of that goal 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line? How do you achieve that inflated cost of the goal in the given time frame? So what plan do you need for that? Do you need investing in mutual funds? Do you need investing in shares? All of those details. So get in touch with us. We will help you build that. People who haven't done Azadi Next, please register for the 1 crore formula, and then we'll show you how can you get this completely free of cost. If you are in a hurry, right, then you can get in touch with us. Inshallah, we charge 7,500 rupees for creating this plan for you. Get in touch with us. We will help you out with that nonetheless. If we feel that no, you have requirements which runs into getting estate planning done, getting your retirement planning, or getting, you want to create wills and so on and so forth, we'll put you in touch with the experts, and they will then take care of your requirements. So all of that, get that process completed, and we will take things up from there. Question time, inshallah. If you have any questions, this is your time to get those questions answered. And on the chat, on mic, go ahead and you can.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum once again. Me again. I have registered for this course. I think you have done same kind of link while you did with one educational institute in Kerala.
Right.
I think I've done a couple of times the registration, but I was never called for this Azadi.
Is it okay? 1 crore formula, you registered for that,
yeah,
but
this is something I'm keenly looking for.
All right, sure. So maybe you need to pin. So there is one group. As soon as you register, you are required to join a group, and all the information comes on that group, right? So maybe you can pin that group and follow that very closely, because that's where you get the information on where to attend and so on.
So I
Right.
will register today as well, and I will in any case, if any hiccups are there, I will connect you
Sure.
with WhatsApp
Definitely,
also.
you can get in touch with us. Sure. Right. Sorry for that experience, inshallah, but we'll make sure you can register this time.
And even I was okay to pay for that 3,000 as well, but
Sorry?
then I was like, okay to pay for that 3,000 as well, but then it never worked out. That's
Okay,
what
no.
I- yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So anyway, we'll share the details with you. So please go ahead and register, and inshallah, we'll
Thank
take care of that.
It's in Telegram, right?
Yes, it's we'll be sharing the details on Telegram.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you,
Okay. So there are some questions. Jazakallah. All right. PMS service for a long-term basis. Okay. So Dr. Mohid, please get in touch with us on the number that I'm sharing with you right now. This is a WhatsApp number, our Idafa Investments WhatsApp admin number, +91. You can note it down, 99673222224. So please register. Please get in touch with us on this. The PMS Portfolio Management Scheme is an offering from several companies in India, which requires a SEBI license, and it requires a minimum investment of 50 lakh rupees, right? So we don't offer that service. What we do offer is you open an account with one of our partners, either Angel Broking or Motilal Oswal, and we help you manage that account of Angel Broking or Motilal Oswal. But for us to step in and manage that account, we say minimum make an investment of 5 lakh rupees, so that we can assign one person to you who will manage that account on your behalf. So that is possible. Managing your account is possible, but PMS we don't do. Yes, if you want a Sharia compliant PMS service, the SEBI registered one, we can connect you with people who will take care of that, right? Inshallah. Is REIT investment halal? If the REIT, so you must go for REIT investments if you are excited about that. If you are someone in so Tabriz, you are in India, right? I know you, but if someone in the Middle East or who has opportunities to invest globally, you can invest in Sharia compliant REIT products, real estate investment trust products. It's great, right? But what happens with most of the REIT products across the world is they would let out the product to a bar. They would take the investment, buy a property and rent it out to a bar. They would rent it out to an abattoir, which is not following the Zabiha norms. They would rent it out to a bank, right? And as a result of all of that, this investment becomes non-compliant. But if you do have a compliant opportunity, please go for it. I know of a company in India, in Kerala, called Secura, right? So Secura from time to time comes out with these kind of REIT products, and you can definitely go for those investment opportunities. ठीक है Tabriz? All right. For which course the fees is the fees for our financial planning services, that's 75,000 rupees, 7,500 rupees, or $100 per annum. So that's a annual engagement where we charge 7,500 rupees, and then we work with you for monitoring and developing and monitoring a plan to fulfill your financial goals. Rehbar is a company out of Bangalore, and that company offers rent-based investment opportunities and returns which are rental in nature. Just give me 1 minute. I have some competition. Right. So it's always a good thing to, when children are around, it's a great idea. Whenever there is some noise going on around you, you are sure that children are also listening to this, and they will probably get something from this, right? So
can you please repeat about Rehbar?
Rehbar is, so it offers rent-based investment opportunities. So you hand over your funds to Rehbar. Minimum investment is 1 lakh rupees. Rehbar in turn looks at businesses who need funding, but they don't want to go to conventional banks and interest and all of that. So they would come to Rehbar and they want to set up a factory. The factory would require machinery worth 1 crore rupees, or the business would require 10 trucks, right? So Rehbar, for those of you who know ID Fresh, which is a company out of Bangalore, right? ID Fresh, so when they were expanding in northern states or Maharashtra and Telangana and other places, Gujarat, etc., they needed refrigerated trucks. So they approached Rehbar. Rehbar funded those trucks. So now for these trucks, ID Fresh gives a rent to Rehbar. So Rehbar collects those rent on that investment, and that rent and the capital amount that gets returned back to the investors over a period of time. So you get rent-based returns on a quarterly basis from Rehbar, right? So this is a replacement for us for debt. It's very important for a financial planner to look at diversification, and the assets should be allocated in such a manner that different aspects are taken care of. So some portion has to be in gold, some portion of your investment has to be in these kind of capital guaranteed low return products, so that the capital is safe. That becomes like an anchor. So we suggest investing some amount in Rehbar, especially so if you are someone who is 45 years, 50 years plus. Okay? All right. JJ. Yeah, go ahead.
Option trading halal in Islam?
Options trading, options comes, it falls under futures. It falls under options, and futures falls under derivatives. And derivatives is a fake. Please listen to me carefully. Derivatives is a fake artificial contract created out of an underlying asset like equity, commodity, currency, etc. But it's a fake artificial contract. Liquor, cigarette, harmful things, but the government doesn't have a problem with that, because the selling of these things, as harmful as it may be, is getting them revenues in terms of taxes. Similarly, the government doesn't have any problem with lottery, because lottery also gets them taxes. Derivatives is a form of lottery, gambling, which gets excellent revenue for the government. So they don't have a problem coming out with these fake artificial contracts, which are tools basically for gambling, right? So that's not allowed in Islam. Yes, futures is kind of forward trading, which has a provision in Sharia compliant investments. Buy Salam is a product where you do a forward trade, right? So futures trading, if done with certain conditions, can be Sharia compliant. So we do have Sharia compliant futures trading in economies like in Malaysia, in the Middle East. Dubai offers Sharia compliant futures trading. So maybe you can explore those opportunities in these countries. But the way it is practiced in India, equity, commodity, currency, all of that under derivatives is non-compliant. Right? There are conditions. There are conditions which needs to be followed. If those conditions are met, then futures can be allowed. Okay?
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Okay, just now you are speaking about the Rehbar investment. How much they will return for the quarterly if we invest 1 lakh rupees?
Yeah, annual return is between 8% to 12%. So during the pandemic, the returns were slightly lower, closer to 8%. But generally, the returns is between 8% to 12% annually. right? So based on that, it could be between 2% to 4% on a quarterly basis. So nothing is fixed. It depends on the kind of rental returns they have made in that particular quarter and that particular year. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Welcome. All right, option three. My account is with GeoJit. No, we cannot manage GeoJit account, but we can probably give you a guideline. So when you attend this program, we'll give you a broad guideline, and based on that, you can do your own trades with GeoJit. But in case of Angel and Motilal, what happens is we have access to your account. So we can actually do the buying and selling based on the information that's readily available to us, right? Bitcoin, is it halal? So Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies at the moment, the way it is practiced in India, it is not allowed for people in India. But if you are someone who is living in the European countries or the US or countries where cryptocurrencies are used for transactions, either they are used for transactions or scholars over there have, so some scholars, so there are two. If the cryptocurrencies are going to be used for transactions, then the country where you are residing should allow that as legal tender. So in India, it's not allowed as legal tender, so there's no question of that. So that's how it's not allowed in India. If you want to invest in cryptocurrencies as a pure investment, so it should qualify as a commodity. For gold to qualify as a commodity, gold should hold value. Silver holds value. Rice holds value. Crude oil holds value, right? It holds some value on its own, right? Equity shares, it holds value on its own. So similarly, cryptocurrencies should also hold value on its own, right? So now there is a big debate on whether cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., do they hold value on its own? So a majority of the scholars in the world at the moment are of the opinion that even if it's legal tender, does it hold value on its own? If it, so some say that yes, they do hold value. Others say it does not have any value. It's all in the air, in the cloud. There is nothing that you can feel tangibly about it, etc. But the proponents of cryptocurrency, they say that the effort that goes behind data mining and all of that, the cost involved in doing that, although that cost is a fraction of the value that it's created. But based on that, there are some scholars who say that, okay, data mining is the value, and that's why you can invest in. So in UK, for example, a lot of scholars have allowed investing in cryptocurrencies on both these parameters, legal tender as well as holding value. So a lot of activity is going on over there. India, the government hasn't accepted it as legal tender. So there is no question of its acceptability at the first stage itself. Okay?
So one question from me.
Okay.
I'm not saying last question, but people would want to answer. What makes futures tradable and Sharia compliant in other countries and not in India? Just you could just give us one or two points.
Right. So generally, how trading happens in futures is that you go ahead, give a premium, right? You get an exposure which is normally 20 times, right? And you start trading. You buy that contract. If the contract, so if the price goes in your favor, so you've put 5,000 rupees for one contract, you've got exposure of 1 lakh rupees, right? So if that contract, your investment is 5,000 rupees, exposure 1 lakh rupees. If it goes in your favor, the price moves up from 1 lakh rupees to say 1 lakh 30,000, 1 lakh 40,000 rupees, right? So it's moving in your favor. You exit that contract, you make a neat profit of 40,000 rupees on your investment of 5,000 rupees only, right? So that's how it goes normally. But if due to some reason that 1 lakh rupees contract instead of going up, starts moving down. So you are negative 25,000 rupees. On your investment of 5,000 rupees, you are losing 25,000 rupees, right? So the way things function, you have the option of just leaving the contract and walking away from it. Just leave the contract, right? So you've just put that 5,000 rupees. You are not interested in getting your 5,000 rupees back. You quit and you walk away. You save your 25,000 rupees loss from happening. The counterparty then makes some profit. He gets that 5,000 rupees and the contract is over. So this is how things work. Like if you go to one shop, you are required to pay 100 rupees. You get a number, right? You keep watching for that number. On the day, on a particular day at a particular time, one number gets published, and if it's your number, you get 10 lakh rupees instead for that investment of 100 rupees. What is that? Gambling, lottery. Same way futures and options works in markets like India, right? But in the markets that I mentioned, what happens is in the futures contract, there is an option of delivery. There is no quitting, right? There is an option of delivery. And so if all of that is taken care of, so whether it's equity, whether it's commodities, you take delivery of that commodity, right? And in certain commodity markets in India as well, you have the option of delivery. So for example, if you are a jeweler and you are doing a contract, a futures contract in gold, in that case, scholars allow you to get into a futures contract even in India to mitigate your risk. Options, futures is a tool of risk management, right? So people who are in a particular field, rice merchants are allowed to do futures contracts in rice. Gold, futures contract in gold, right? If you are in some way related to the oil industry, right? Crude oil, and if you do have, you can get into a futures contract in that way. So that's how it is allowed in certain markets, because those conditions are met which are not met in India.
So, एक final question just related to this. If this is done on the day of expiry of the contract, that means, after this, the contract is going to expire the same day, right? Would it still be non-compliant because, that is the day of...
It will be non-compliant. Same day of the expiry doesn't make
typical
sense.
Expiry without even kind of, coming out of it.
But you're taking, so day of today, 12 o'clock, the lottery ticket thing is going to be announced, right? So you say that on that day itself, 9 o'clock, I buy it, 12 o'clock, I'll get the result. And that doesn't make it permissible, right? So same goes with this thing as well. Okay? Okay, let me take some questions from the chat. 1 crore formula is free for, yes, of course. For people who have done Azadi Next, it's a part of the program. So first session of the financial planning activity, it's a part of the program. The fees you've paid takes care of that. The fees you've paid takes care of your 1 crore formula as well. So that's happening on the 21st. You can register yourself and know that you are an Azadi Next participant. So that will be taken care of. Don't worry about that. Thanks for bringing that up. What's the name of the halal future trading service? No, I am not aware of. So there are a lot of services in Dubai and in Malaysia. I don't know specifically of one service as such, but there is a market for that. If you want, I can find out. You can also look up on that, and we can figure it out. Is it better to invest as lump sum in Tata Ethical Fund? Yes, it is always better to invest lump sum and then keep building up. So that's possible. That can be done. Investing in gold, a part of your gold can be, a part of your investment can be in gold, but overall gold has given negative returns in the long term. Last 40 years, gold has given negative returns. Past year or two has seen a sharp uptick. And that's why at the moment, gold is giving a return of about 4 to 5%, maybe less than 4% now annualized, right? So there is a concept called CAGR, compounded annual growth rate. It's about 4%. Now with a 4% return, you're not able to beat inflation. Your returns has to be more than the inflation. Inflation at the moment in India, officially 7% plus, but the real rate of inflation works out to much higher at about 12% or so, right? So inflation is really high. And with a 12% inflation, if you get a return of 4%, you are losing out. Gold is good for risk mitigation again. So if the whole world, the financial world comes to an end, all the banking system, the stock markets, everything collapses like it had happened partially in 2008 and earlier on in 97, 98 in the Far Eastern countries, etc. As a result of that, the markets had collapsed completely. And in those kind of situation, if you have a real asset, then that's gold. So from that perspective, it's a good idea to invest about 5 to 10% in gold maximum. Apart from Sharia mutual fund, is it it's advisable to use something like small case? So there are Sharia compliant small case and ETFs. You can go for that. There's no point going for non-Sharia products if you want to follow the Sharia norms, right? How to invest for SIP in mutual fund, power of compounding. Please get in touch with us on the number provided, 9967344. We'll guide you on that, inshallah. If already regular investment in Tata and Taurus, what next? Keep building up, top up. So if you have an investment of say 10,000 rupees, if you have surplus income, and so raise that to 12,000 rupees, raise that to 15,000 rupees, keep adding, keep building up that monthly, put that pressure on yourself and on your investment so that you get more and more returns and your retirement or your goal fulfillment gets faster. Do get in touch with us, and inshallah, we'll talk about different ways and means to maximize your returns on investment. Or you might want to look at equity investments and do some kind of a asset allocation in mutual funds and equity investments. Is there any consultant who can guide on these things you have explained? Yes, we do have people who can guide you on. So you let us know which area you need help on, and we'll connect you with those kind of people. Also, if you can share which city you are in right now, so we can probably connect you to someone in that city, right? So yeah, just give me one moment. So we'll try and share the details of 1 crore formula over here itself, inshallah. Okay, I'm already having account. Is it possible to move that under Idafa? Yes, it is possible. Please get in touch with us and we will help you out with that. Apart from investment plan, what can I expect from? So what we expect, basically we work with you on your goals, right? And we might help you develop some newer goals, right? And then we will give you that investment plan, and then we'll keep monitoring that investment for you. So from time to time, we will see if there is some change needed in the plan. It's not working, the market is not going the way it was expected. So your goal is it getting delayed? Do you want to change some things here and there? So every quarter we review that. We are constantly in touch with you. You can get in touch with us anytime, and we will help you out with making those changes in your SIP, your stock SIP, your investment, reviewing, monitoring, all of those services, right? Like, shall I get buy and sell call? Of course, we will be giving all of that to you. Yes, we will give all of that to you. I attended, okay, in January, 1 crore formula. It was a 1 hour session. How this upcoming course is different? No, 1 crore formula is a 4-day session. So 1 hour or 1.5 to 2 hours for 4 days consecutively, right? So it's a 4-day session. So probably you've attended 1 day out of the 4 and missed out on the rest. If that is the case, please do register yourself again or get in touch with us and we'll help you out, inshallah. Okay, questions, please share of the number. Yes, we are sharing the number again for your, it's 99673 +91 right? And we are sharing the link to attend 1 crore formula and all of those details as well. So just look at the chat. We'll get the details in a while. Okay. How to pay for registration? Yeah, we are sharing all of those details with you in a few moments, right? So, brother Kalandar Azad, we have something in common. We run this program called Azadi, so you would obviously be interested, inshallah. So Navi Mumbai, okay, do get in touch with us, Rehan bhai, and we'll let you know more details about whatever queries that you have. Equity and mutual fund, which have chance of higher returns. Equities have a chance of higher returns because you will be involved in those investments. Mutual funds, you hand it over to the fund. You don't have time. You are not interested in managing your funds. You hand it over to the fund, a mutual fund. The fund manager does whatever has to be done in case of your investments. So in good times, you get really good returns, but generally speaking, the returns are very normal, 18%, 20% times. But when you are completely on your investment, you're reviewing it at least once in a month, right? There are better chances of you getting substantially good returns. So if not just 18, 20%, you can look at 25, 30% or even more, right? So equities definitely have a better chance because you are on the ball, right? So we have shared the financial planning cue sheet discount for, so that is the discounted offer that we've given. You are getting the first one free and the rest, that is the discounted offer that we are offering, not just to the Azadi participants, but everyone. But Adil bhai, do get in touch with us. You've done the first session. Let's see how things are progressing. 4-day session schedule, and we are sending the details to you, Rehan bhai. Zero knowledge of mutual funds, equity shares, right? No problem. Please attend this program. Inshallah, you will get all the details that you need over there, right? Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, Ashraf brother. Yeah, I've attended those Azadi Next, and I'm trading and doing this one equity also. Deposited. Yeah, I'm going on and also attending the programs. Just I would like to know, like, so can I contact the team to manage my portfolio, or it's one-time service only? How it is like?
Yeah, managing your portfolio is possible. So there are some conditions like minimum size of 5 lakh rupees.
Yeah,
that is possible. And you can have that first session. You've done the first session.
No, Azadi Next program attended last. I'm from.
So you are eligible for taking an appointment with me or one of my team members for session 1 of the planning activities, and we can discuss your portfolio management issues as well over there, inshallah.
Okay, brother.
Okay, inshallah.
So this company that you mentioned on the rent side, what was the name of the company?
Rehbar Financial Consultants. There are other sister concerns that Rehbar has. So that whole group of companies offer different kind of products. So whatever whatever you need is what we suggest for you. So if you are someone who is a car lover, you love cars, you would love to invest in cars, right? So there is one product Rehbar Group offers. It's called Assetify, wherein the primary investment happens only in auto loans, right? So I need a car, you have the money, both of us go to Assetify, right? It's e-car world, which is renamed as Assetify. So both of us go to Azadi, you put in the money, I put in the request for loan, I get the car and I pay rent to you, of course, through Azadi. So that's a rent-based option on car loans, right? And then there is something for businesses and there is something for industry where they can go for leasing and rent-based investments. And then there is something for venture capital. So there are companies who require large funding. So there is Rehbar Group has a venture capital fund called Mount Judai Ventures. Now that's the minimum investment in that is 1 crore rupees as per SEBI norms. It's SEBI registered as well. All of this is SEBI registered. So 1 crore rupees alternative investment fund. All of those options are available with Rehbar, right? So whatever you need, we will guide you towards that, inshallah.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes, brother, regarding this, yeah, for gold-based investment, I'm interested. So should I once it's only one sitting, or it will be continuous follow-up? How it is like?
Yeah. So for people like you who have attended Azadi Next,
yeah,
you don't have to pay 7,500 rupees, but you get the first session where we set the goals. You get that absolutely free. If you want something, if you want this monitoring and all that beyond that first session, then you pay 7,500 rupees, and you get a year-long service on that front, right? And if you just want to do portfolio management, I mean that investment management. So we have the first session, and after that you say that we just want that investment management. You meet the criteria, 5 lakh rupees, etc. Some brokerage. So normal brokerage that is charged. On top of that, we charge 0.10% more. So if we are charging you 0.5%, we'll start charging 0.6%. If it's 0.4%, we'll charging 0.5%. If you have a really huge investment and you got yourself in a bracket of 0.3%, so you will charge 0.4% and we'll manage that investment for you, right? So that's possible, right? So that first session you have free, and then portfolio services, investment management services, then we can start off with that.
Inshallah, I'll get in touch.
Sure.
Calculation I'm not getting. Anyway, I'll get in touch. Thanks, brother.
All right. Okay. So on that note, we will close the session in 5 minutes. I will keep this session on so that you can get your details. Please register yourself on the link that we have provided. I am taking you to that link, and you can have a look at that. Just a minute. So you can just fill up. So this is the form that you would have got, right? Right. I will take you straight away to that form, and so you can just fill in those details. Where is it? Where is the form? Yes. So this is the form that you would be taken to. You just keep going next. It will ask for the payment option. You can go ahead, make the payment, Google Pay, whatever works for you. Just make the payment, register yourself, and inshallah, we will see you then on 21st of September, right? So I'm keeping this on for some time so that you can use the chat, register yourself. People who have done Azadi Next can also register yourself in an appropriate location. Just put Azadi Next so we would know that you are a participant and no fees required. Okay. So on that note, we will conclude the session over here. Jazakallah khair for attending, and inshallah we look forward to be of service to you. You're in touch with us, right? Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
धोने के आ जाओ इश्ये अच्छा बना